So, good morning and welcome to the Mindfulness Tree Meditation Community for our Wednesday Sangha as we continue with Thich Nhat Hanh's book on anger. And so, this is a time to gather during these truly remarkable and disturbing times. And so, we're going to begin with our opening sitting meditation. And what I'm going to do is use sort of an adaptation of a meditation on anger by Lama Rod Owens, and in which we learn how to create space to forge, as he says, a responsive relationship with anger and other feelings. And so I'm going to invite you to listen to the bell. The sound of the bell invites us to welcome ourselves to our true home. And so we arrive in the present moment, not in the past, not in the future, but in this moment that is unfolding right now. And the invitation is to settle the body and whatever is present, moving through it, and to also settle the mind. Through meditation, we don't stop the thinking process, but rather we are able to notice it and even to allow it to slow, even if just a bit, and only for a few seconds. Imagining the snow after one shakes a snow globe, and even the image of watching the snow settle is a reflection of what happens with the mind. And through the invitation of the bell, we welcome ourselves to our true home, embracing our inner goodness, embracing our Buddha nature that is our inheritance. And so as we practice looking deeply into anger, Lama Rod Owens invites us that when it does arise, to see it. To observe the emotion. To notice, as it does arise, its texture, how it feels in the body, but simply to see it, to greet it, and even to bow to it. Then Lama Owens says, name it. He says you have to name the things that you want to transform. And so to call it what it is. Anger is here. Frustration is here. We name it. And then we own it. And this is a critical step. Lama Owens explains we have to understand that this is happening in our experience, to own it, that it's happening in our mind and our body and not someone else's. That helps us to take responsibility for it. It may have arisen because of the words or actions of someone else, but it is our experience. We own it. And just like with the meditation process, this helps to slow down. When it happens in a split second, the stepping back and extending the time. Then he says, experience it. And to experience it is different from reacting. Experiencing anger is about getting curious and intimate with the sensation and exploring how the energy shows up in our bodies and our minds. Touching it. Again, noticing its texture. And even there might be a feeling of a color to it. And an intensity. It's almost like witnessing it, but yet still owning it and experiencing it. And then let it go. What this curiosity and awareness allows for is a reference point for our own psyches. In the heat of that moment, we can remain somewhat steady and have agency. Anger becomes something we can choose to hold on to or release. And letting it go doesn't mean that it vanishes, because there are some times when the experience or the words of another will come back to mind, and that moment of anger may arise again. But now you know the intricacies of it, and you can bow to it and go through the process again. And then he says, let it float. This simply means that I'm reminding myself over and over again that there's an incredible amount of space that can hold everything. And the space will be present as long as I'm choosing not to react, but to stay within a practice of responsiveness. Working with this anger as a practice reminds us that we don't master it in one day. There will be times when anger arises and we react. But understanding the nature of anger, we can begin to move toward a more mindful understanding of it. And we can forgive ourselves when we blow up or we react in a way that's not skillful. But that also is a part of the practice. Our inner nature is goodness and compassion. And the more that we nourish the seeds of goodness and compassion, we can see anger as a child in need of care. Instead of pushing it away, Thich Nhat Hanh says that we respond to it as if it were a child in need, holding it, comforting it, and bringing that goodness and compassion as we would do with a small child. And so bring to mind either a child or a small being that you have comforted. And bring to mind the memory of comforting that being. You might not be able to take the suffering away, but you can bring something that's stronger and greater to the situation. That instinctive patting on the back or petting and holding close is a reminder of what is stronger than the anger. The patting and saying, "Oh, honey," is really what we need when these strong emotions arise. And mindfulness makes that possible. And when we respond in this way, with goodness and compassion, it doesn't just stop there, it goes out into the world. Just as when we practice metta or any type of compassion practice, it bears fruit. It has an effect. And it's not just for us personally, but it is for all sentient beings that we practice. We see it. We name it. We own it. We experience it. We let it go. We let it float into infinite space that can hold anything that arises. I am not an angry person. I am not a sad person. I am not an anxious person. These are simply states that arise and pass away, and they do not define us. They're momentary. And in closing, our formal sitting meditation, I'm going to read a very short poem by Master Thich Nhat Hanh that is entitled For Warmth. I hold my face between my hands. No, I am not crying. I hold my face between my hands to keep my loneliness warm. Two hands protecting. Two hands nourishing. Two hands to prevent my soul from leaving me in anger. So thank you for your practice, and I bow to your presence today as we gather.